Hello everyone, this is Shahadat Hussain. Let me ask you something. How much time do you spend every day cleaning and preparing Excel data? An hour, 2 hours, or maybe even more? I used to spend a lot of time on repetitive Excel tasks too. But after I started using Power Query, the way I work with data completely changed. Now I use Power Query in my day-to-day work to clean data, automate repetitive process, prepare reports, and handle tasks that would otherwise take hours manually. And the interesting part is you don't need to be an expert in Excel or know any programming to start using it. So in this series, I will show you how Power Query works and how I use it in my real life situations. And most importantly, how it can save you time and make your everyday Excel work much easier. So let's dive in and see what Power Query can actually do. At first, we need to know what is Power Query. Power Query is often described as an ETL tool because it follows the exact pattern, like E stands for extract, T for transform, and L for load. So take data out of the source is extract, then clean and reshape the data is transform, and put the prepared data where you need it, that is load. So we can collect data from many places. For example, Excel, CSV file, PDF, database, folder, anywhere that is suitable for the Power Query. There are 5 simple jobs actually in Power Query. Some of it I've already discussed, that we have to collect the data and transform it, clean it, combine, merge by appending or merging queries, and then load and refresh. Think of Power Query as a small factory where the raw materials come in and the work is done by saved steps and a finished dataset comes out. So basically, as you can see in this slide, from getting the data from different sources, you can do the real business decision makings using those data, and in between all the steps are basically transform. So in this series, I'll try to show you different types of data extraction. Mainly I'll discuss 2 methods. One from Excel workbook, and as you can see, there is a step-by-step process from where you can collect this Excel workbook kind of data from Excel, and I will show you everything by doing this one by one in Excel, not in this uh, PowerPoint slides only. So I have already some sample workbooks. Like as you can see in this workbook, I have accounts expense from January to June for 2026. In January, I have vouchers, branch, zone, expense category, expense head, vendor code, vendor name, amount, tax, status, reference, everything. And for February, March, April, May, June also. So now I want to combine all these Excel worksheet in a single worksheet. So how can I do this within some simple steps? So at first, I will open an Excel workbook. It can also be done within that Excel workbook, but I prefer to open a new one. So in this Excel workbook, we will go to the data option, then get data. In this get data, we will see so many options like from file, from database, and from other sources, services. We will mostly use this from file option. And from this option, you will see Excel workbook, CSV, XML, JSON, PDF, and from folder. So at first, I will show you how we can work with this from Excel workbook option. We'll select this one since our Excel is in workbook condition. I have saved my folder in desktop, and you can select it wherever your data is being stored. My data is in this folder. Yes, this one. So it says it is being used by another process. Okay. Yeah, it was open. That's why it couldn't open. So in this Navigator dialog box, you will see this scenario where you can select multiple items if you want specific items, but it is not advisable because if you add new worksheet in that Excel workbook, for example, you have only data for January to June, and then you added July, August, September in that Excel workbook. So if you use this option, select multiple items and go to the transform data, it will only show you that selected Excel worksheet or table, not the new one. So we will select this Excel folder option, enter folder, enter Excel workbook, and then select transform data. In this transform data, there are name, data, item, kind, hidden, everything. Hidden means if you have any hidden sheet in that workbook or not. So basically, we only need the data column here. But before that, before deleting any other columns like name, item, kind, hidden column, we have to filter out what kind of data we want to collect. For example, here, as you can see, in this kind of column, you have January, February, March, April, May, June as in sheet. Also, you have data of January, February, March, April, May, June as in table. So basically, what does it mean? The mean is, let me show you at first. This Jan, Feb, March, April, these are the name of this worksheet, and this data is being stored as in table. So here we can see this table design option in the data tab. After selecting this table design, you will be seeing the name of this table. So I saved this table as January, and in February I saved my table name as February, as March, April, May, June. I saved my table name as the respective month. So in your Excel workbook, your data might not have been saved as a table, rather saved as a range, normal range. So then you might not see this option table design because your table is not being created. It is normally just a range. Here I saved my data as in table. I can also convert this table into range. For example, if I select this convert to range option and click yes, now it has converted as in range. It is not table. It is designed as table, but it is actually not a table. So most of us might not know what is the difference between normal range and table. So that's why I'm showing you before jumping into the Power Query. It is a very important uh, thing before you use the Power Query. So I can convert this normal range data into table also. Basically, you have to select all the data by selecting Ctrl A in your keyboard. Then you just have to press Ctrl T to make it a table. As I have header names, so my table has headers will be selected. Then click OK. So now it has been saved as a table, and you can see the table design option came again. If it is not saved as table, then you will not be able to see this table design option. So I'm going to change my name of this table as June. So there are two different kinds of benefits for using table rather than using the normal range. And what is this? Number one is you can insert any number of column in between columns in future, and in Power Query it will not affect. But if you use only normal range and want to insert column in Power Query, it will show you error or blank data, because in normal range Power Query remembers with this column name like A, B, C, D, whatever data is in column D, it will remember forever if you not use data as a normal range, not as a table. But if you create a table and take whatever column inside your existing table, it will remember your column header with this column name, no matter how many column you take in between columns. For example, this column name branch, this column name zone, this column name expense category, expense head, it will be merged with other Excel tables that has similar header name. Branch, zone, expense category, expense head. You can take any number of columns you want. It is one benefit. Another benefit is, as I already mentioned, that your data will be generated every time without any error. If you select your data and save it as a table, not just any normal range. What I mean as normal range, this is a normal range. I can uh, create any kind of table. For example, here, this is look like a table, but it is not actually a table. It is just a normal range and being colored with some different header or column colors. If I remove all the color fill, you can see this is just another random range, not actual table. So at first we need to know about this table and normal range thing. So okay, let us have this sheet name. So when we use this Excel workbook, we will know what I'm trying to say. So we will go again in this data option, get data from file from Excel workbook, because our data source is in a Excel workbook. Excel workbook. This is the Excel workbook we want. Here, as you can see, the sheet 1 that I created to show you the example also showing here. We will select this entire Excel workbook and click the transform data. And as you can see in the data and item here, the sheet name Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June is showing. Also the sheet 1 that I created to show you the example, and the table January, February, March, April, May, June are saved as table. So as I told you, it is best to work with this table. Normally, if you have so many data Excel workbook that is already in sheet, not as an organized table, you can also select this sheet option from kind. That is another thing. If your data is already in sheet as a normal range, then you have no other choice to select this sheet option. But if you want to create a system using Power Query to automate your future works, then it is best to create your format in a table format. So as our data already have in table format, we'll select this table. So in future, whatever new worksheet opens in that Excel workbook as a table, it will automatically show here, and after refreshing it, it will generate. We will show you that option also. So after selecting this table option from kind, we'll basically remove all the other columns except for this column, because we only need this data column. So if you right select on your mouse and click on this remove other columns option, it will remove other columns. And by selecting this sign, you will be able to see the column names of your existing tables. And before clicking OK, make sure to uncheck this use original column name as prefix, because after that it will use your original header as a column header in Power Query. If you do not uncheck this, then it will add a data.branch data.zone will be also added with your header name. So we don't want that. We want our clean header name without any other prefix. So right now it is showing as date, voucher number, branch, zone, expense category, expense head. So basically our data already been combined from January to June of every single day. If we want, we can already close and load it to the Excel workbook right now. But before that, we have to do some work, and that is transform. So in the next video, I'll show you how we will transform this Excel workbook, and already we know how we can extract the data from Excel workbook. So thank you for staying this long. Hope you have enjoyed.